Welcome back to a new video. It's been a little while, been out and doing some summerly activities. Haven't had a chance to really get on and do much as of late. Really enjoyed the last few videos I put out. Uh, Last one I actually had some commentary on, so I'm going to try to do a little bit more. The purpose of my channel is really going to be more about, I'm going to do some gameplay stuff here and there. I really enjoy doing that, but really it's to throw some stuff out there that you don't typically see in videos. Most of the YouTubers out there are really flashy. They're trying to show you cool um, kill shots and all that. And the purpose of what I want to do is to do that as well, but it's to go through some of the finer details. Now, I'm not an expert at War Thunder by any means. I mean, if you look at my kill-death ratio, it's pretty sad. I was a newbie for quite a long time, and started out on the PlayStation 4, which is really a lot different. I ended up switching to the PC, which made things a little bit easier for me. But I made a lot of significant mistakes in my first year. Did not really understand anything about aerodynamics and tactics. I ended up trying to learn things through YouTube and videos and any other ways that I can learn, combat techniques, including looking at some of the actual live footage and training that I could find online. So that being said, I'm still very much an amateur, but I'm learning, and I hope to pass along any knowledge, bits of knowledge that could benefit you and your colleagues in any way possible. So, that being said, the one thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the Bearcat and how it significantly overheats and how you can prevent that overheating. One of the best things that you can do is first, you want to see roughly what's the temperature on the map that you're on. If your map is a cold map, you're going to see significantly less overheating than you would on a hotter map. That's the first key. The second key will be your altitude, because certain maps, no matter how high you get, you're going to get a significant drop in temperature. Even the hotter maps, the higher you get, the less, the less, the cooler it is, I should say, is at those altitudes. So altitude is going to also play a role in how fast you overheat. But the biggest factor that you can control is one, throttle, WEP. That's obvious. Everybody is pretty aware that the more you push your engine, the more it's going to overheat. What most people don't know is that at certain settings, you can actually decrease your engine heat output and still maintain a decent power output of your engine. One of the ways that you can do that is through manual engine control. Now, manual engine control is not something I'm going to be going through on how you can do. You can do that and find all the information on how to set up manual engine controls. But what I will do is explain what you can do to reduce your engine temperatures. So this map seems to be fairly straightforward. Doesn't look to be very cold, doesn't look to be very hot. Seems to be about the typical average temperature you would find somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't say exactly in the middle, but it looks about in the middle to me. And as you can see, about 2-3 minutes into this flight, I'm already starting to get yellow overheating. So, one of the things that you can do when you are in a Bearcat and you want to cool your temperatures, just simply use manual engine controls. This should be enough to reduce your engine temperatures, enough to get it out of the yellow most of the time. The problem is with the Bearcat is you do tend to lose, for whatever reason, a little bit of engine power at on the manual. I'm not sure the reason behind that, if it lowers your prop pitch just enough. But as you can see, I just put it back on auto, and I'm really gaining speed back. So that is one of the downsides here. So I go back to manual, and I will start to drop that engine temperature again, but I will also start to lose speed. Now, for whatever reason, when you get up to about 3,000 meters, and I will get up to that point, that difference between auto and manual tends to be not as significant as it is on the deck. So, keeping that in mind, what I try to do is I try to run my auto up until about 3,000 meters. And then I'll switch over to the manual engine control at that point. Usually at that point I'm looking at about engine temperatures that are starting to be in the darker yellow. And before it gets to that red is really when you want to switch over. I tend to do that about 27 to 3,000 meters just to be safe. So right about here is about when I'll change over to manual. But you also have to remember that at certain altitudes you want to change your supercharger gear as well. So don't forget to switch that, because you lose a lot of power if you're in gear 1 at 3,000 meters. You want to be, I think it's about 1,700 meters or so that you want to switch to gear 2. Don't remember the exact number because I tend to use the auto these days up until about 3. So, but I think it's around 1,700. Depending on the map as always as well. Just about everything depends on the map, because different air quality will change, these altitudes slightly. But, generally speaking, that's about the altitude you want to be at. Now, the reason why changing to manually is unknown to me on to why we're getting such lower temperatures. You would think auto would give you a better cooling, but it really doesn't. The other thing that does work, though, to get you even more power, or even more cooling, I should say, and it does give you a little bit less power, is to turn your prop pitch down a little bit, especially if you're already in a high-speed level flight. You can go, in some planes it could be even lower, but for the Bearcat, I generally tend to do about 93%, 94%, maybe 95, right in that area. That will give you even more additional cooling. And that is because it allows the flow to go through to your radiators a lot easier. You get a lot more air through there, so you get actually a little bit more cooling than you would at 100% prop pitch. So see, if you can see here that I'm actually starting to overheat because I was running at a high temperature for a long time. So we can try dropping that down a little bit, and as you can see with a lower prop pitch, still at 100% radiator, nothing's changed there. You watch, see, I'm going to bring it down quickly, but the radiator's still at 100%. That temperature is going to drop even more. So if you're in a punch or in a pickle, you want to keep your wet, but you didn't really, you really don't want to reduce that down, you can always, reduce your prop pitch a little bit. As you can see, you don't lose a whole lot of speed. You do a little bit. I'm not going to lie, you're going to lose a little bit of engine power for that, but you're going to really significantly cool that engine, but still at least be able to use your WEP. That's the advantage. So if I turn WEP completely off, I'm going to end up losing a lot more speed than if I just simply reduce the prop pitch. So that's the advantage. Now, the other side of the coin is that running a cooler engine temperature will allow you to, if you're in that point where you really need that extra power, if you're already running hot, you're going to start to redline really fast. You're going to be trying to dogfight with an engine that could be actually, getting damaged relatively soon. You don't really want that. So sacrifice your plane's power a little bit during the early stage of the battle. get yourself to a point where you keep your engine temperatures relatively good. Um, get yourself some altitude to the side. Climb a little bit extra if you need to. Just keep those engine temperatures in the light yellow and white if possible. A little bit of dark yellow is okay now and then. Just make sure you try to keep it in that white, light yellow zone as much as possible, and you should be good for when you actually need to engage. Because there could be a time that you need to use a little bit or get a little bit extra speed out of your plane, and you can reduce your prop pitch a little bit. That's probably too much, more like 85, and reduce your radiator down, or even go back to automatic engine, and you'll at least have a little bit extra time to get to utilize that power. If you're already kind of redlining, you're not going to have that chance. You're going to be in significant trouble just trying to climb or get back into a fight. I've had that happen to me before. So taking care of your engine is really important to good Bearcat piloting, and that's all I have for you today. Just keep in mind that colder maps are going to give you a little bit more wiggle room. It's going to cool your plane down a lot faster. It's not going to overheat as fast. Hotter maps are going to do the exact opposite. It's going to really overheat a lot faster than you normally do. And then obviously the higher temperatures you are, or the higher altitude that you are, the less it's going to overheat as well. So you get up into the 4, 5, 6 and above range, okay, altitudes, you're going to see significantly less. Now I'm thinking about one last thing. Sometimes when you start to see a lot of engine heating, you're going to start seeing your yellow come up a lot faster than normal. That's another reason why you want to keep and maintain your engine cooling, so that you can actually prevent your engine from getting into that yellow. Because once your engine starts to take on heat, it's very hard to get it back down, and it seems to get worse as you go. So dark yellow may start out at 285 degrees or so, but as you can see right now, it's already getting to be dark yellow at in the 260 range and lower, actually. So taking care of that engine is going to be even more important to keep you from overheating too soon, and is a major disadvantage for you if you cannot use your weapons efficiently when you're actually needing it. So take the time to take care of your engine. Take the time to side climb a little bit more if you need to. But this is a way for you to avoid the biggest woes that people have with the Bearcat, and that is overheating. You can take a lot of the lessons from the Bearcat and apply them to other planes as well. I'm not going to promise anything, but I might do some more on the LA line. And the Yak, they tend to benefit a lot from prop pitch and radiator settings. But that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned